Amazing. This is the tradition of going home for Eid in Bangladesh, which is so crowded and suffocating. Don't care about the dangers that may always lurk. These people are willing to squeeze through the crowd, a hard effort with one goal, namely to meet relatives in their hometown. This is also a symbol of strength and longing for deep family relationships that have long been separated by the distance that stretches. And this is an extraordinary portrait of the tradition of going home for Eid using the train in Bangladesh, which is so phenomenal. Bangladesh is the country with the 8th largest population in the world. It is recorded that this country has around 176 million people, of which around 150 million people, or more than 90%, are Muslims. Of the many cities that exist, Dhaka, which is the capital of Bangladesh, is the most densely populated city in this country, with a population of 23 million people. Dhaka is the main destination for rural urbanization. This is because as a big city, Dhaka offers many jobs and fortunes for anyone who wants to try their luck. In Dhaka, there are various factories that can absorb various workers, and garment factories are one of them. With the majority of its Muslim population, the tradition of going home for Eid applies in Bangladesh, especially for the residents of Dhaka city. Rushing home during Eid is a common characteristic of Bangladeshi society. Everyone goes home to celebrate Eid with relatives in their hometowns. During the Eid celebration, around 12 million, or half of Dhaka's population, leaves the city and heads to their respective hometowns. There are various types of vehicles used during the Eid homecoming season, starting from sea routes, land routes, to air routes. However, air routes are relatively minimal. From these 3 routes, the use of trains is quite attention-grabbing. Trains are the main choice for most Dhaka residents because the price is relatively affordable. A unique and astonishing portrait will be presented when the Eid homecoming arrives, where the train carriages are moving filled with overcapacity passengers. Because of the overflowing passengers, many of them have to be willing to sit on the carriage and stand next to the body of the carriage. This situation is what makes the homecoming scenery in Bangladesh so different from other places in the world. Actually, on normal days, train usage in Bangladesh is not this bad. Train activities in Bangladesh are not much different from other countries and run very normally, where passengers can freely occupy the carriages and sit comfortably in their seats. However, conditions really change when approaching Eid, when millions of people simultaneously move to their hometowns. The condition of the overflowing train passengers in Bangladesh is due to the disproportionate number of trains with the number of passengers that suddenly explodes. In addition, this situation is also caused by the large number of additional passengers from tickets sold on the black market. This practice of taking passengers unofficially is what makes the train overcapacity. And what's worse, from year to year, the Bangladeshi government has not succeeded in solving this problem. When the homecoming season arrives, millions of Dhaka residents come to the station to start their journey. The density of the station begins to appear on the 3rd day, 3 before Eid, especially when many factories start to give employees leave. As soon as the train arrives at the station, the crowd of passengers starts to rush to get on, even though many passengers could not get through the door because of the crowded conditions. Some people even entered through the train window. Those who managed to get in were not necessarily able to sit in their seats, even though they had bought tickets. This condition made passengers not get a place to step, even inside the train. In the end, many did not find space inside and tried to climb onto the roof of the train. Men, women, and even children took part in occupying the roof of the train carriage. They had to be willing to suffer from the beginning to the end of the journey to their hometown. But this method had to be done in order to arrive on time in their hometown. despite encountering many challenges with dangers that always lurk. But the struggle to return home was carried out by Bangladeshi citizens with joy. Some of them even looked very enthusiastic and cheerful, even though they were in uncomfortable conditions. Eid al-Fitr is not only a religious holiday for Bangladeshi Muslims, but also a day of fun and socializing. Being able to spend Eid al-Fitr with loved ones, meeting parents, and setting foot in the land of the ancestors is a fitting payment for what they went through during the journey home. The station did not try without effort to prohibit passengers from doing this dangerous action, but they gave up despite many attempts to stop passengers from climbing onto the roof. The police also tried to prevent passengers from climbing onto the roof, but the large number of passengers made it very difficult. As a result, several trains departed late due to the chaos that arose, and several other dramas arose as a result of this prohibition. Conditions like this have become an annual tradition in Bangladesh. When the homecoming season arrives, crowds of passengers on the carriages are commonplace, as well as a unique portrait that enlivens the homecoming moment. In short, the tradition of going home for Eid using trains in Bangladesh is a rare moment that may not be found in other countries. But this density creates very bad conditions for passenger safety. However, this tradition continues to be carried out as an integral part of the Eid celebration, becoming an important means to reunite with family despite all the challenges faced. This tradition reflects the importance of family ties and the values of togetherness in Bangladeshi culture, even though it has to take great risks. Therefore, the need for efforts to improve transportation infrastructure and arrangements in order to handle the surge in passengers more efficiently and safely is urgent, especially in the context of population growth and increasing mobility.